Quentin, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's a great sounding guitar. Welcome, everybody. Paul here. I'm at Music Villa in Bozeman, Montana with Quentin King. Down the street from Gibson Guitars, of course. Man, I love it. There's such a tone with the, this is not a J45, but I was going to say with that J45, this is called a J50, and we're going to get into the details of it, but there is just a reason why you need multiple guitars, and that's a good reason. None of your other guitars will do that. If you don't have a J45 style.
That's a distinctly Gibson sound. It's not a Martin sound, certainly not a Taylor sound, not a Guild sound.
No. It's
not an Ovation sound. I mean, I can go through the list, but...
Yeah. It's this woodsy, cool, I don't know what it is. It's a great guitar.
There's a certain amount of twang in this one, too, that I like,
It's awesome. So, but what we're going to talk about is the J50, okay? So, it's a J45 in every aspect except this particular one. They make them both ways now, but it's a reissue of the 60s. So this is from their original collection, okay? It's called the 60s J50, right? Adjustable bridge.
Yep.
We've talked about this before. We've done a couple of guitars with the adjustable bridge. It's a kind of a, they're doing it, obviously to recreate it as it was in the 60s. Mm-hmm. Some people are like, oh, I hate the adjustable bridge. And other people really doesn't matter. What I find is, and we'll compare this. We'll compare this in another video to some other J45s or something. Yeah. But what I find is you pick one of these up and it's either, it's got it or, I don't know, maybe one doesn't. But the bridge to me doesn't really factor in any issues or problems. I've found that, you pick one up and it's either, like I said, you either like it or you don't. Yeah. And the bridge to me doesn't have, I tend to really like these adjustable bridge.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I mean, the proof is in the pudding as far as it sounds. And hopefully we'll give you some samples and we'll play a little bit more. But, what I like as, what I'm thinking is, we talk about the distinctive sounds of the different makers' guitars and their, kind of flagship type models, the J50 being one of these kind of unique models, particularly this one almost retro-y, going back to the 60s. But, I'm not a guitarologist or, physics, acoustic physics guy, but my presumption is that anytime you affect, structural modification or variation to these key components, where the strings touch the body of the guitar, you're going to end up having an effect on the overall sound. But what I like about adjustability is, we talk about Taylor's, how much I love the playability. Well, I'm going to be honest that some of the other guitars I play, their playability can be variable. It's not frequently as perfectly and precisely engineered. And so to have the flexibility to really put it where you want. Some people like their strings up higher. They think it, provides some loudness. Others want to get it down as low as they can without getting a buzz. Yeah. And I think having the ability to adjust your bridge without having to pull it out and saw it off or add, slats of wood underneath it or whatever, that's an asset for those who really want to dial in the playability of their instrument between, neck relief and all these other aspects. Yeah. A real luthier would explain it much better than I can, but in my mind, it's the opportunity to really set it up the way you want it. Yeah, it's nice, and like I said, if it sounds just as good, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, and I mean playability. It's nice. It's got the finish.
Let me tell you that. Let me tell you the specs.
Yeah, please do.
So the one difference on this, the J50, which the J50 is really, like I said, is a natural J45, but this 60s version, the nut is just a slight bit skinnier than a standard Gibson nut.
Like I'm wrapping around more. And the neck,
neck is a rounder profile.
Yeah, I like the neck shape. Again, because I'm sticky and greasy, I usually prefer like a satin finish. But once I
we've had guitars where we take the finish down for people. It takes a little bit of work, but you can kind of smooth that out. Some people
put a little baby powder, some slick strings or whatever, some Pam, whatever on my hand so I can help slide. But I mean, tone-wise, I like the tone of this guitar. It's got, if in the room, and again, it's always a challenge wondering what's actually coming through. In the room, there's some depth in the bass. It's resonating well. Yeah. When I get up to the I can get some ring out of the high strings too with the boom of the bass. I think it's a really great sounding
It's
guitar.
cool. I like the
sure.
double antiquing, they call it, like the binding in the top. Spruce top, mahogany back, same as the J-45, but the vintage tuners, which I like those a lot too. This particular one actually has the LR Baggs pickup in it, but this model usually doesn't come with a pickup. I think we put that in there. So
nice. Well, I mean, again,
Yeah.
I like options.
Yeah.
Plug and play with a really wonderful replicant of the 60s
Yep.
style Gibson. No,
It's
I
cool.
think it's...
Oh, you know what? One more thing. They don't put the dot on the 17th fret. See, like on the J-45. That was a 60s thing on this model too.
Well, because nobody went
Just-
up this high anyway. That's
Right.
just,
You didn't need a dot up there.
if you need to know where your fingers are this high. Then
Yeah. But what a cool guitar.
Yeah.
That's
no.
the J-50 60s from the original collection. Gibson guitar made right here in Bozeman.
Smells
So-
smells like the 60s.
Yep, smells like it's fresh out of the lacquer booth. Quentin,
That's
thank
nice.
you.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everyone.